Hello everybody, my name is Cloud9339. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one it's going to be another card analysis video, and in this one we'll be covering the new TCG exclusive archetype that's coming out of Duelist Advance, and that is the RB or Rebel Bots archetype. They all have RB in their names, but they don't have Rebel Bots, but in the introduction they call them Rebel Bots. So RB, Rebel Bots, whatever you want to call them. So in this video, we're going to be, the first initial part of the video is going to be my live reaction to the cards as they reveal them. My camera kind of covers up parts of it, but it's only to get my reaction, so I do apologize about that. And then towards the end of the video, I'll give you my conclusions and things you can maybe do with the deck at the end. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alrighty, so they're revealing a new TCG exclusive archetype. They've been doing teasers for it. I don't know what it's called. I think this segment is going to reveal it because I guess this was going to be. I tried to turn the volume down a little bit just so, you know, it's not too loud, but, you know, I'll try to pause and read cards too. Alright, RB the Brute Blues. Okay, 2 machine monsters. You can gain the following effects while this card points to an RB monster. Gain attack equal to the total original attack of the RB monster that it points to. It can make a second attack during the battle phase. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. During the main phase, you can add an RB card from your deck to your hand. And it only requires 2 machines, so it's kind of generic. Then you can search an RB card as well. That top effect, I don't think it's going to matter, like, at all. That's kind of terrible, to be honest with you. That second effect, however, to search for an RB card from your deck to hand, that could be cool, depending on, you know, what they do with it, right? Okay, so what does these do? If you control no face-up monsters, or the only face-up monsters you control are RB monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so just a free special summon. It's a 3 as well. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way during the main phase. If this card is link summoned into an RB Link monster, quick effect, you can pay 500 life points, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy both that monster and this card. Okay, wait, what? If this card is linked into an RB Link monster, you can pay 500, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy both that monster and this card. Oh, does it just give it to the RB Link monster? But it says this card, because it has to be linked. If this card is linked into an RB Link monster, quick effect, pay 5, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy both that monster and this card. Why does it say this card if this is already linked into an RB Link monster? It's a little weird. I don't know what that means by that. Maybe there's something different there. Okay, the second one here is if you control no face-up monsters, or all face-up monsters you control are RB monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon RB Cutter once per turn this way. When your opponent's spell trap card or effect is activated and this card is linked to an Oh, okay, I see what it means by linked. So when the guy is pointing to it, when they're getting pointed by link arrows, I see. Quick effect, pay 700, destroy this card, and if you do, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Okay, so this is a monster destruction card when it's getting pointed to. Same thing with Cutter is a spell trap negate if it's getting pointed to as well. That's a little, to be honest with you. I don't know about that. I mean, it's a machine archetype, and the link requires 2 machines, so like Speedroid Terratop shouldn't, like, is Terratop a machine?
Not quite.
Is it? I don't think it's a machine. Okay, we got more stuff. Okay, more stuff. Okay, so they have Valken Rocket. If you control no face-up monsters or RB monsters, you can special summon this card. So, you know, free extender. It's a 6 as well, or 5, sorry. You can only special summon this once per turn this way. If this card is linked to an RB Link monster, pay 1,000 life points, target to up to 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. Also, this card, if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed by this effect. That's not bad. That's actually not terrible, right? Inflict to your opponent for each card destroyed. So it'd be 1,500 life points if you destroy all 3, right? That's not a bad effect, but the only... Okay, I'm going to get back to the problems I see with it already, but, okay, that's not terrible, but, like, you know, still want something else. And then RB Valken Booster, which is another link to that they have 2 machine monsters to go into, generic. If this card is link summoned, you can add an RB spell card from your deck to your hand, okay? If this card is in the extra monster zone, you can special summon 1 RB monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Not terrible. Then you can move this card you control to another of your main monster zones. Also, you can not special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for machine monsters with 1,500 or less attack. Okay, not a bad effect. You get to search a spell card, get a reborn a card, and place itself back into the spell trap zone, which can move like for zone reasons for the other Link monster. That just isn't terrible. Okay, that's not terrible, but so the problem I'm already seeing with the archetype is this protects itself, but doesn't protect any of these guys, which is kind of the problem right now. So if your opponent just simply goes to battle phase, they can just out these cards, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken, because these are low attack, low defense kind of guys. That's the kind of problem I'm seeing with the archetype right now. Okay, here's the spell cards. Okay, it's got a field spell. I'm assuming this field spell is going to protect shit. That's what I'm assuming. When this card is activated, you can add an RB card from your deck to your hand, except for RB Funk Dock. Each time a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, gain 500 life points. Okay, whatever. If a RB monster you control leaves the field by card effect, except during your damage step, you can spell summon one RB monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn, and you can only activate it once per turn. Okay. Still doesn't protect the monsters, right? When this card is activated, yeah, it can each time, like, yeah, I don't know. That's cool because it's a searcher, but, like, I don't know. After that, it's like the other effects don't necessarily matter to me. If it said by battle or card effect, that'd be cool. And then RB stage a landing, you can special summon one RB monster from your deck / extra deck with a different name than cards you control. That's not bad. Okay. If an RB monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Okay, there's the protection stuff. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this card, except for machine monsters with 1500 less defense. Okay, I guess they're trying to prevent it from being splashed with other stuff, I guess. That's cool. Okay, one thing with RB stage landing is it's not a once per turn, which is kind of fucking insane. So if you draw there's like multiple ways, because like the field spell only searches for a card, right? And I think the link, this can search for any spell trap, which is cool, or spell card, sorry, not trap. And then this searches for a card as well. So, like, it's not a once per duel, or once per turn effect. That's kind of insane. So it looks like that is going to be it for the, okay, so that's all the new cards in the archetype. So my initial thoughts, I don't know. This seems like a weird little archetype. Like, this is a pop-a card, or monster, sorry. This is a spell trap negation. So I'm assuming you want to get all three of these guys onto the field. So you get a spell trap negation, a monster pop, and then 2 card pop, which is kind of cool. And then this doesn't really necessarily do anything. This is just like an extender play kind of thing. And then you have also this guy's like cool because it's search an RB card, and then he can protect himself. I wish it protected the monsters it pointed to as well, but like, I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. It can make 2 attacks during the battle phase. I don't know. I gotta see other stuff with it. Like the initial stuff, I believe this won't be like a pure deck. You probably want to splash this with other stuff, like other machine stuff, but it makes it hard because this locks you out of the extra deck for the entire turn. You can't activate this card if you summon anything that's higher than a machine monster with 1500 or less to attack. If you summon anything higher than that, then you're just locked out of this card and you can't activate this card. So, I don't know. I got to see real quick. I got to do a little bit of testing, but I got to go to work soon, so I probably have to go to work, and then when I come back, I'll do testing with it then. But initial stuff, I don't know. It seems like it's not quite, like, things are there. Don't get me wrong, I went a little too far. It's like things are there, but, like, is it going to be, like, meta impactful? I don't know. I don't know about that. But let me get to testing, shall we? Alrighty, so after a little bit of me getting back from work, testing out a little bit, looking at the cards, that can maybe be splashed with it and stuff like that, what is my conclusion with the deck? I like the concept of this deck. I really do. I really like the concept of this deck. Like, it's super, super, super cool. But, oh my god, it is so infuriating that they put restrictions to this deck. There is exactly one restriction to it, and it's this little fucking sentence right here. You cannot special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate this card, except machine monsters with 1500 or less original attack. Oh my god, that is so annoying. Oh my god, does that restriction kind of just mess everything up. Like, it's there, you want it to, like I'm saying, I like the concept with the deck, especially because there's technically no bricks with this deck. If you draw any of these guys in your starting hand, they're just free extenders. They're legit just free extenders, and that's all they have to be, is free extenders. So that's kind of insane, to be honest with you, that this is even technically a brick in the deck. The deck technically has no bricks. But it is just so infuriating because they put it on the best cards. They put it on stage landing that, not a once per turn, has the protection, but it locks you from the extra deck. Same thing with this Link 2, the Reborn effect or the special from hand or graveyard effect to help you get to the Link 3 also has that restriction as well after you use the effect. It is just so annoying that they placed that restriction on it. So overall, I like it, but one, have fun with Nibiru the Primal Being. This deck doesn't have a monster negate. So it just loses to Nibiru. If they have Nibiru, you might as well just wipe your hands. You're not beating Nibiru, which is kind of the problem, which is why I think you have to play Regulus if you play this version of the deck, because at least Regulus can negate a Nibiru, right? And that's all you needed to do is negate a Nibiru, because this deck hard loses to Nibiru because it doesn't have it has a spell trap negate in Cutter, but it doesn't have a monster negate. So you just can't play around Nib to save its fucking life. So other engines I found, I was identifying the Terratop stuff when I was doing my reaction. It is a machine, and this gets you to 2 machines, so it just gets you to the Vulcan Booster straight away, which is all you necessarily need to do, is get to Vulcan Booster, and this gets you access to the RB stuff, which is pretty cool. So there's that. Like I just said, Clockwork Knight and Regulus is, I think, probably mandatory for this deck, because this deck does need a monster negate to save its fucking ass, but this is an Omni negate as well, and it goes well with machine decks and stuff like that. But the reason why I'm also somewhat infuriated, I'm infuriated they made this a fucking a field spell. I am really fucking furious. I wish they just made a continuous spell so it works well with Clockwork Knight. That's it. That's the only reason why I think that would be cool if they made this a continuous spell instead of making it a field spell. Now, the field spells have a lot more ways to search it, so that's probably the reason why they made it a field spell, because you can play like terraforming and stuff like that. But if this was a continuous spell, it would blend in a lot more nicely with like the Clockwork Knight stuff, which I do think it's mandatory. I think you do have to play Regulus in some way. Maybe you don't have to play the Clockwork Knight, but I think you do have to play Regulus. Also, the Sky Striker stuff is really the only stuff that you can play that plays into the restriction pretty well, because all the Sky Striker stuff are less than 1500 attack. But as of right now, you can only play it as just a small engine to help you get to this dude, because the good guys, this good Sky Striker monsters that they got out of the OCG support, we don't have yet. Like, this does do a lot and enables a lot of the combos if you really want to go that way, but guess what? We don't have these cards yet, and we don't know when the fuck we're going to get these supports. So this is off the table, so you just kind of have to play like what Malice did with like 3 engage, like a small package, 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Widow Anchor. I think you also play multi-roll if you play the Clockwork Knight stuff, because this is just a continuous spell. You can send to graveyard off of Clockwork Knight. The Pillars and the Rose is also very nice as well, because this restriction locks you from, except for machines, which you're fine with. All you're playing is machines as well. The Super Heavy Samurai stuff is just kind of just extenders. It's kind of the same idea as Terratop, that you can just play this as extenders. Also, you get a Pendulum Summon out of it, which is pretty nice as well. So that's kind of an idea you can go with as well. The main idea I kind of thought of was playing it with Crystron, but again, like I said, the extra deck restriction is pretty hard. So it makes it where you can't really make the good Crystron extra deck unless you just don't play the best card in the deck, which is Stage Landing, and you don't use the Reborn effect of Vulcan Booster, and you just use it as a searcher, which again doesn't get the proper value out of these cards. Which, sure, that'd be nice for Crystron, but if you're going to play Crystron, just don't play this stuff, because you don't necessarily need this stuff. Everything that this archetype has, Crystron already has too, so you don't necessarily need that stuff. That was also another thing I wanted to do with Crystron. It's like, oh, if they get like good extra deck machine cards, that would be cool, which they technically do now with the Vulcan Booster stuff, or the RB stuff, sorry. But I don't even think it's necessarily that worth it, because again, you can't use the best stuff out of the RB stuff because they lock you out of the extra deck, or all the good extra deck guys for Crystron. So you would play like a small package of that. If you would play a small package of this, I just don't think it's worth playing that in that case for that instead. Like, maybe the idea is maybe you just try to end on just Tristalos and just try to quick effect Seeker when you're not restricted on your opponent's turn, which would be nice. But again, plays hard into Nibiru, which again, like I've been saying, Nibiru is a very, very fucking hard restriction. So I really want... Oh, also, sorry, I forgot there's a couple cards in the side deck. Also, Cyber Dragon Core plus like either Realm or Repair Plant is kind of cool. I don't think you would probably go the Repair Plant way, because this is just a brick if you draw it, and it's just, there's no way you can activate it unless you draw exactly Core. But if you draw like Core plus a Cyber Dark Realm, it's actually not terrible, because you can get a continuous spell that helps you get to Regulus through the Clockwork Knight stuff, and also gets you an extra normal summons. You get to use 2 machine monsters. So it gets you to the Vulcan booster stuff. So that's also like an idea you can do as well. So overall, I like the concept of this deck. I really, really, really do. I like how it plays, but oh my god, did the extra deck restriction kind of just make it where like, damn, there's just like nothing you can do with it. And like, maybe they probably did that on purpose because they're not trying to make this an engine deck like they did with Mitsurugi. I think they realized that making Mitsurugi an engine deck was a fucking mistake. So they're like, nah, no more of that. We're making sure you play just the archetype and just the archetype by itself with a little bit of other stuff to help you access it as well. That was probably the way they wanted you to play the deck, and that is the way you do have to play with the deck. But the extra deck restriction, I like the concept of this deck. I really, really do, especially since, again, there are no bricks in this deck because everything is just extenders and stuff like that, right? But oh my god, does the extra deck restriction just kind of hamper this deck? Also, its ability to try to play around Nibiru just doesn't exist because Regulus is really the only way you can do it in this deck because there's really nothing with 1500 or less attack that helps you prevent Nibiru, right? So yeah, that is it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I know, went in a little bit of a tangent there, but I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.